Hey, welcome back.
Hi, everyone.
It's great to have you here for another deep dive into Course in Miracles. You know, yesterday we were talking about Lesson 9.
Yes.
I see nothing as it is now.
Right. Powerful stuff.
And it really got me thinking about how often I'm, just going through life and just making assumptions.
Yeah, just on autopilot. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And not really seeing things for how they are.
Just kind of seeing what we expect to see or want to see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So today we're tackling Lesson 10.
All right.
My thoughts do not mean anything.
Ooh, that's a head scratcher.
I know.
When I first read that, I was like, what?
It's like, well, we think all the time, so what is that even?
Yeah. If our thoughts don't mean anything, then what's the point of anything?
Right.
But there is a deeper meaning here, and that's what we're going to kind of unpack today.
Okay, cool.
It's this idea that there's a distinction between like the thoughts we think we're thinking and our true thoughts.
Okay. I'm ready. I want to hear more about that.
All right. Well, why don't you read the lesson
Mm-hmm.
and then we can dive in.
Okay, so this is Lesson 10. My thoughts do not mean anything. This idea, like the preceding one, may seem quite startling at first. You have no basis for comparison as yet. You do not understand what thinking means and have no idea of what your thoughts are really like. Therefore, you cannot judge their meaning. If you perceive their real content, you would never think of them again. You would truly be released from them, as you will be when you accept today's idea without reservation. Your mind is really a blank. It contains nothing. You have put nothing in it. Whatever is in it is meaningless. This is the prerequisite for vision. Upon this clean slate, the Holy Spirit can write His message of release and healing. It is His will that your mind serve no other purpose than His own. It is His will that your thoughts mean only what He wants them to mean. He would have them be entirely pure and holy, for they are yours. They can be agents of healing or of attack. They can spread peace or fear. Nothing you believe about them means anything. What they mean is determined by the Holy Spirit, whose teacher you have chosen to be. Give them to Him. He will employ them in your behalf, restoring your mind to health and peace. He will translate your meaningless, insane rambling into a coherent message of hope and love. He will use them to bless the world. My thoughts do not mean anything. They are like the things I see in this world. They have no meaning of their own. I am willing to give them to the Holy Spirit that He may use them for His purpose. I will not believe in them because I do not want to be deceived. I want to be healed. This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
I always get something new.
Every time.
Every time.
Me too.
So I like how this builds on yesterday's lesson.
Yeah.
You know, we were questioning what we see, and now we're questioning, like, the thoughts themselves.
Yeah, taking it even deeper, right? Yeah. It's not just about what we're seeing out there in the world, but it's like, what's creating those perceptions?
Yeah.
And the Course is saying, there's this part of our mind, it's, often called the ego, and I know sometimes that word can be a little loaded.
Yeah.
But it's basically that part of us that's always chattering, always coming up with thoughts based on our past experiences, fears, judgments.
Right. I'm not good enough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I should be doing more. I should have done this differently. Why did that person say that? All that stuff.
Right.
And we tend to take those thoughts so seriously. But the Course is saying, hold on a second. Those aren't actually your true thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are our true thoughts then?
Right. Yeah, that's the big question. The Course talks about this other part of our mind, the right mind.
Okay.
And it's where our true thoughts come from. And these thoughts they're much more peaceful. They're based in love and connection.
Got it.
But because we're so used to listening to the ego's chatter, it can be hard to even recognize those true thoughts.
Yeah.
It's like they're whispering while the ego is shouting,
Oh, that's a good analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have to kind of train ourselves to tune in to that quieter voice.
Right. Okay. And how do we do that?
Well, the Course gives us some really helpful tools.
Okay.
And one of the most powerful is today's exercise.
Oh, right. The closing our eyes.
Yeah. Closing your eyes, repeating that idea.
My thoughts.
My thoughts do not mean anything.
They cannot mean anything.
And just noticing what comes up.
Okay.
Without judgment, just observation.
Yeah. Okay, so we're not trying to push the thoughts away.
No.
We're just watching them.
Exactly.
Got it.
And the lesson says this idea will help to release me from all that I now believe.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Because when we stop believing that those thoughts are true,
yeah,
we start to loosen their grip on us.
Okay. Now, someone listening might be thinking, well, what if I do this and it feels really uncomfortable?
Yeah.
What if I can't quiet my mind?
That's totally normal.
Okay.
The course actually talks about that. It says, if you find this uncomfortable, shorten the practice time.
Okay.
Start with just a minute or two.
Okay.
And just gradually increase it as you feel more comfortable.
Okay, so be gentle with ourselves.
Exactly.
All right, I love that.
Yeah.
So, okay, but how does this actually play out in real life?
Right. Yeah, that's the key question, right? It's like, okay, so I close my eyes, I do this exercise, but then what?
Yeah. How does this help me, when I'm dealing with my kids?
Yeah. Or my boss.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Or just, daily life stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Well, let's say you're about to give a presentation at work.
Okay, yeah.
And you're feeling really nervous.
Uh-huh.
Thoughts are swirling around in your head like, what if I mess up?
What if I forget what I'm going to say?
What if they all hate it?
What if they think I'm stupid? Yeah.
Yeah, all that stuff. Instead of getting caught up in those thoughts, remember that we were talking about like watching the parade go by?
Oh, right. Yeah.
You can kind of take that same approach with your thoughts. Just notice them, acknowledge them,
Uh-huh.
but don't believe them.
Don't get attached.
Don't get attached.
Okay.
Let them float on by like those floats in the parade.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
So it's about creating that space, that mental space
Exactly.
between us and the thoughts.
Yeah, you're not your thoughts.
Right.
You're the awareness that's witnessing those thoughts.
Okay.
And you have the power to choose which thoughts you want to engage with and which thoughts you want to just let go of.
This is so great.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot out of this.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's such a powerful reminder.
So, okay. To kind of recap what we've talked about today,
Yeah.
we really dove into this idea that our thoughts don't necessarily mean anything.
Right. At least not in the way that we usually think.
Right, right. And you said something earlier that I really, really want to get back to.
Okay.
If our thoughts don't have meaning,
Yeah.
where does meaning come from?
Ooh, that's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I want everybody to kind of ponder.
Yeah. To sit with.
Yes, exactly. And maybe we'll touch on that a little bit more tomorrow as we dive into lesson 11.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great one.
Bye.
I woke up to a miracle today.